Hi everyone, Francisco here for Daddy's Game Time, and look at this massive, huge, ginormic box I have right here. This is the 1/6 scale collectible figure of Rocket and Groot. As you can see in the back, we have the G for Guardians of the Galaxy. We also have our SideShow Collectibles special edition sticker right here, which basically means that this is a dual set of two figures. We have Rocket and Groot. You can buy them separately. I decided to go for the dual pack just because it saves on taxes and on shipping, as well as you get a special item because of being the special edition. So let's go see it. Now try to get the monster out. And now, out of the slipcase, you can actually see Groot and Rocket as they look inside the bubble. On the side here on the spine, we have the measurements for, the gel scene where the Guardians have been captured. And of course, we have our casting crew in the back of the package of who worked on the figures, sculptors, designers, clothing experts, and more. So now we will take this boy one at a time. We're actually gonna review Rocket, and then we'll go and review Groot. And there you have it. Here is Rocket in all of his tiny little glory. He's not that big. I'm gonna say he's probably like about 6 to 7 inches tall. The hair is not real hair, rooted hair as they call it. It's more of an actual sculpt, but his whiskers are real hair, as you can see. I don't know if you can get a closer look at his teeth, but he's actually in the, threatening gesture or, attitude. His eyes are a little, tiny, just like a real raccoon. Rocket comes with 3 different pairs of hands. You have like your relaxed, paw, hand, whatever you want to call it, and also fists. And it also comes with an extra pair of feet. I believe that this is more like the actual Rocket feet. As you can see, they're a little bent. So this is how he'd be standing, more like in a running in all fours kind of position. And of course, his tail, which I haven't attached. So let's see. Let's go ahead and attach the tail. See what that looks like. It just pops in, as you can see, and it actually swivels and of course moves because that's an actual point of articulation. So of course it comes with this little stand, and as I said, not really much detail to it, but you can actually see the clothing and see the details of being dirty, I guess, worn out, and of course it's a prison gel uniform. Groot actually comes with this trademark rifle or cannon gun. It's actually, to me, seems to be very fragile. It has a lot of very thin parts. It seems as though if I drop this, it's probably gonna break. So that's why you have to take care of your Hot Toys, because they're very fragile, they're very detailed, but at the same time you cannot be like really playing with them. You can actually see right here, it changes colors. It's like a little shimmering effect, a little blue. I imagine the blue is because of all the firing going on. It probably worn out the paint, but you can see right here as well, there's a little traces of worn out paint as well from, I'm imagining, all the firing. And because this is a SideShow Collectibles special edition, Groot, the standard package comes with one little tiny Groot. As you see at the end of the movie, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but Groot actually kind of sprouts again out of a little pot that, you know, Rocket saves, and this is what you see in the movie. But because this is a special edition, you actually also get a dancing Groot, just like in the movie. And it actually, well, this one actually doesn't really dance, but it's a little flexible. I don't really want to force it much, but the arms are actually not, you know, hard. The amount of detail in this little figure, I mean, look at the little eyes. See the little eyes? There's a little twinkle in those little eyes. The actual pot itself, it seems like it's a little bit of ceramic there, but it's actually all just plastic, and it's just amazing. I don't know if you can get a little close up on the back of his head right here, and you can see all the little sprouts, and you can see the actual detail on the back of the head of Groot. I mean, you can see I don't know, like roots. You can see little branches kind of, you know, forming what's supposed to be his hair, so to speak. And I mean, just the trunk itself, I don't know if you can kind of see where his arms are supposed to spread out of, how they're interlocked with the actual trunk. You can see a little more detail as well on this dancing little guy. In the back, there's actually like a little leaves on the arms from where it's separated from the trunk, and you can actually see his little fingers made out of leaves, which is insane. Like, who does this? Who takes the time to actually like look at all little details? And I mean, look at the size of my fingers compared to the actual head of the little tiny dancing Groot. It's insane. So of course, you know, at the end of the movie, Rocket takes care of Groot. You can see that it's in scale with the actual figure of Rocket. You can probably make it so that Rocket actually holds Groot. If we can get the pose, the articulation on the arms, you kind of have to like wear it off a little bit so that they actually move. But I think we can kind of get the, but there is sort of, kind of. It's a little difficult, but I'm sure, you know, you get the gist of it. He can carry Groot. You can pose your figures in that way to kind of replicate that scene from the movie. Yeah, just like that. And it will not stay, but yeah, you get the gist of it. So there it is. That's Rocket Raccoon. You can see in the back right here, there's like a little beading right there. I don't know if it has to do, yeah, it's, I guess it's his protector or his tracking device, because as you know, he was captured, put into prison. He was actually an experiment. So there it is. The back right here shows a little, I don't know, sphere of some kind. I guess that's what controls what makes Rocket be Rocket. I'm sure we'll learn more about it in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but there it is. Rocket Raccoon from Hot Toys. Points of articulation on the figure. We have the head, of course. It moves side to side, up and down a little bit. We have the arms, which go up and down, swivels at the elbow, and of course it comes up and down as well. The hands rotate, and then we have the feet, which they're a little restricted because of the outfit, but they actually do bend at the knee and at the waist. And then of course we have the legs and the feet, which rotate, and of course you can actually pull out the feet to replace it with the other set of feet that come with the figure. And like I said at the beginning, these are more like the actual Rocket feet. As you can see, this is more like a, I imagine like a more like a 4-leg animal type of thing. So there it is. The tail, of course, moves up and down, and it rotates all the way as well.
And here it is. This is Groot. I am Groot. No, not me. He is Groot. This figure is massive. I mean, looking at it from the time that I had it in the box, it didn't really seem to be that big. But now that I have it out here, I can tell that, I mean, look at it. It's so huge, it's big. And the one thing I'm looking at though, is the detail on the sculpt. I mean, this looks like a 3. Look at it. From the way it looks, from everything, every single little vein, I mean, you can kind of see like the different colors, the different greens, the different browns connecting to the figure itself, and then the little sprouts, like this one right here, I don't know if you can tell, coming out of his, I mean, his body. I don't know what Groot is. I mean, a lot of people were saying that he was a 3 at first, but actually a lot of people say that he's actually a plant, not a tree. So whoever said that he was a 3, you're wrong, people. It's actually a plant. Look at the expression on his face though. That is the true expression of Groot from the movies. So serene, so calm, so peaceful. I mean, the fingers, I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, look at these fingers. They look as though are the endings of branches, and you can see everything's connected. The other thing that caught my attention a lot is the way they constructed this figure so that you can actually pose it. There's a lot of articulation on it. I don't know if you can tell, like this right here, these are little flaps that move up and down, so you can actually move his leg or bend it, and so it doesn't look all that weird, or you can actually see, make it blend in and put a little poses here and there. You can hear that click every time I move the leg, because obviously this is a very heavy, very tall figure, so the articulation points need to have a little more of a wrench type deal, so that it actually, you know, keeps its shape and it doesn't, like, you know, fall off. The other thing that's really cool about this figure is that looking up to his head right here, most figures that come with interchangeable heads, you have to like pop them out. Not this one though. This one you actually pop forward, just like this. See, there's a little peg right here, and then there's like the cavity on the faceplate, I should say. It's not really a head sculpt, it's a faceplate sculpt. And then we have the extra one that comes with it, and this is Angry Groot. You pissed him off. Now he's mad and he's gonna come after you. I mean, look at this detail on these heads. First you have, of course, you know, the very peaceful Groot, and now this is the mad, angry Groot. This is the one I like. This is the one that's ready for battle. Other than that, I mean, we have another really cool thing, and let me actually come to here. And we have an extra hand that, if you remember from the movie, this is where he calls onto the plants, I guess, the power of the plants. And he does something like this. Of course, you know, we need the other faceplate for that because he's a little angry. But then, there you go. Now, this is more like the movie. You kind of pose him like this. He's looking up and he's calling on forward. Maybe calling some plants for help. Construct some kind of shielding device for his friends, that sort of thing. You know, you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So there it is. That's Groot. His feet, I mean, the way they made his feet, I'm just looking at that, and they made it so that he actually stands on its own and still looks like part of the tree or plant or body. So the other cool thing about this is that you can actually pose Rocket with him, and I'm gonna show you something really cool. Hold on a second, just hold that thought. So I'm gonna try to replicate a really cool scene from, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll see how this works. Of course, you know, you can actually spend more time doing this. I'm just trying to do this just for the camera, but I don't know how good I'm gonna be able to do this. But basically, I mean, see, you can have that iconic pose of Rocket on top of Groot and, you know, firing and, you know, creating mayhem, because actually their stands, as you can see back here, they interconnect. So that's a really cool feature. I don't know, if you get this scene, you know, from the back, you can see that it doesn't really look all that cool. But once you get it from the front, it actually looks like he is on him. So basically, articulation wise, you can see that his arm actually swivels out, swivels in, and then it rotates completely. His elbow bends in and out as well. And then of course his hands rotate. I talked about this earlier. It has some kind of like, I don't know, plates to actually make it blend in when you bend his legs like this, so that it doesn't look off. He has the same in the back, you know, his butt, I guess, if you will. And then of course, you know, you have the legs who actually bend in at the knee and bend out. And of course his feet, they rotate all the way. And they actually swivel up and down as well. His head rotates all around, and then it goes up and down as well. It swivels. So actually, you can see that he actually has a longer neck, better than some other figures who actually don't have that articulation that I just noticed. So it's actually pretty cool. Lots of articulation for Groot, and lots of points where it actually makes it blend in as you're posing him. It does say on the manual though that all these little sprouts are very fragile, so you have to be a little careful with them, otherwise they do break off. Just like with any Hot Toy figure, be very careful because they're very fragile. They're really cool looking. They're not so much for playing, but more for posing and keeping in a case.